Hi, it's Franca from Us Tutoring, just sharing um, do a complete walkthrough of the 2025 SATS paper for Key Stage 2 of the Paper 2 reasoning paper. So basically all of this, what you'll see after this is like basically a whole compilation of clips that I've made which are all available individually as a separate playlist where you can just approach each question individually, or you can just watch along with this whole video. Um, so I'll go through, this is just basically just the intro bit to the whole playlist really, when it's all together. So if I just share with you the front cover of the papers, and then I'll let you crack on with the paper in full. So this is what the front cover would look like, and you just need to write your name, school name, things like that. Pretty self-explanatory. Your teacher will tell you what to do. I've got a random blank page. Please do not write on any of these barcodes because they are used for their marking things. And then you'll have an instructions page. It says you must not use a calculator to answer any questions in this test. You have 40 minutes to complete this test. This video might be slightly longer than 40 minutes, but that's only because I'm literally demonstrating different ways to answer the questions and things like that. But the idea is that you're able to complete all of it in 40 minutes in an ideal world. Follow the instructions for each question. Work as quickly and as carefully as you can, but please don't rush. I'd rather that you did a few questions really, really well and got full marks for them rather than just rush a load of it and didn't get any marks at all. So quality over quantity as well. So there is a bit of a balance with that. If you do need to do any working out, you can use the space around the question and do not write over any barcodes, which I've just said. Some questions have a method box like this. It looks a bit like a maths book, doesn't it? So for these questions, you may get a mark for showing your method. If you can't do one, go on to the next one. You can always come back to it later if you have time. If you finish before the end, go back and check your work. And then it tells you how many marks are available for each question. Okay, so on with the rest of the questions. I hope you do well and good luck, and do let me know how you get on. Okay, so let's have a go at question 1 from the SATS Reasoning Paper 2 from 2025. So pause the video to have a go. Okay, how did you get on? So it says circle the angle that is closest in size to a right angle. So it says angle. We're looking for one angle to be circled. And make sure you circle it, because if you tick it or whatever, you might lose a mark. I don't know. But probably best just to do exactly what the question's asking you to do. It's worth 1 mark. And so an angle that would be closest in size to a right angle would be one that's basically the same as a vertex of a square or a rectangle, and that would be this one here. So if that's what you got, well done. Okay, let's take a look at question 2. Pause the video to have a go. Okay, let's see what it's actually asking us to do. So it says write the 2 missing numbers. So we've got 2 boxes at the top here, ready for us to write a number in, and this one here. It's worth a total of 2 marks. We've got 1 mark for this question for this box, 1 mark for this one. So let's fill in the missing numbers. So this one says here to add 100 going this way and add 1,000 going this way. So this one, I would take away 100 to make sure that this number in here, so when you add it, you get this number. So you'll have 5,250. And then this going this way, it says to add 1,000. So we don't need to worry about adding or taking away 100 this time because we're just going this direction. So 7,500 and 1,000 would be 8,550. So well done if that's what you got at home. Okay, let's take a look at question 3. So pause the video to have a go. Okay, so it's asking how much more money does Layla have than Adam? So let's work out how much each person has. So Layla has got £2, 50p, and 70 and 20p. So that makes £2.70. So I'm just going to set that up over here. Okay, and then I've got Adam's money. It's got 50, 50, 50 is £1.50. Add the two 20s, that makes £1.90. So if you're not sure, once you've worked out these, how much money each person has, you could just do a bit of column subtraction. So 0 take away 0 is 0. 7 take away 9, we can't do that. So let's just exchange from the ones column to the tenths. So we've got 17 take away 9 is 8. Put a decimal point in. And then 1 take away 1 is 0. So that would be 80p more. So well done if that's what you got at home. Okay, let's take a look at question 4. Pause the video to have a go. Okay, so let's see how we got on. So it says to match each point to its coordinates. So remember to always go along the corridor, which is the x-axis, then up the stairs for your second number. So along the corridor for the first number in your coordinates, which is the x-axis, then up the stairs for the y-axis for the second number. So let's have a look at A. So we're going along the corridor and then up the stairs. That must be 0, 3. And I'm just going to connect that 1, 2, 0, 3. Then we've got B. So we're going to go along here first. We've got 2. Then we go up to 6. So that'll be 2, 6. Then we've got C. So if we go along the x-axis first, that's 8. And then, we go up to along here, up here on the y-axis to 8. So that would be 8, 8. So C is 8, 8. And then D, so it must be by process of elimination 6, 2. Let's just double check. So let's go along the corridor. So along the x-axis, that's 6 to here, and then 2 on the y-axis. So yes, that must be right. So well done if that's what you got at home. Okay, let's take a look at question 5. Pause the video to have a go. Okay, so it says Olivia counts in eights starting at 0. Tick all the numbers that Olivia should say. So before we were doing this, you could just have a quick think about your 8 times table. So I know straight away that 24 is in the 8 times table. Because it says tick all the numbers Olivia should say. It doesn't mean say tick all the boxes. But it does mean that there could be more than one. So I know these two aren't in the 8 times table, but should I ever think about number 112? So I know that 12 times 8 is 96. If I keep going, adding on more 8s, I will eventually get to 112. So 112 is in the 8 times table. So well done if that's what you got at home. Okay, let's take a look at question 6. Pause the video to have a go. Okay, so how did you get on? So it's asking which digit is in the hundred thousands place. So let's just take a quick look at the digits so we can have a look at. So we've got 8 in our ones column, 2 in our tens, 7 in the hundreds, 9 in the thousands, 3 in the 10,000s, 6 in the 100,000s, and 5 in the millions. So, which digit is in the 100,000s place? Well, that is 6. It's not asking for 600,000, it's asking for just the 6. Okay, so then question 2, not question 2, but the second part of the question says, what is 2,000 more than 5,639,728? So let's have a little look at that. I'm just going to make my pen a little bit thinner. So in our thousands column, so it's asking us to add 2,000, isn't it? So that means these 3 digits here can just stay the same. So they can just go straight on into the answer box as is. Then we'll put a comma there because we know there's meant to be a comma there. So our thousands one, we need to add 2 more thousands to this. but that's now going to affect the 10,000s, isn't it? So just add on 2 more to that. So that would be 41. And then we just keep the rest of the number the same because it's only asking us to add 2,000. So it should be 5,641,728. So well done if that's what you got at home. Okay, let's take a look at question 7. Pause the video to have a go. Okay, so it says here is a graph for converting kilograms and pounds. There's the graph. So the first part of the question says use the graph to convert 5 kilograms to pounds. So I'm going to use, I would recommend using a ruler to really help that you're accurate with this. So I'm going to use a nice straight line just to help me make sure I've got this accurately as well. So I'm going to just look at the kilograms thing. I'm going to look at that one first. So I know normally in a graph we would look at the x-axis first, then the y-axis. But this time, because we want to look at the kilograms, we're going to look at the y-axis. This is 5 kilograms. We're going to go up to the 5. We're going to go all the way along to where the line hits, where there should be a coordinate there for the line there. And then we come down here, and that gives us 11 pounds. So I'm just going to write that into our answer box. Okay. Then the second part of the question says, use the graph to convert 7 pounds to the nearest kilogram. So it's going to be slightly off. Okay, so let's have a little look at that. So 7 pounds, if we just come up from 7 here, oh, I can see it's just above the 3. So that would mean that the nearest kilogram is definitely got to be 3. Okay, 3 kilograms. So it can't be 4 because that's too far away. 3 has definitely got to be the most accurate answer there. So well done if that's what you got at home. Okay, time for question 8. Pause the video to have a go. So you might want to just quickly sketch this out before you have a go, and then just have a go, see how you get on. Make sure you use a ruler as well. Okay, how did you get on? So if you literally just reflected this line, this shape, just going to grab my straight line tool because it says to use a ruler. Obviously, I can't use a physical ruler on the screen, but I will just show you how I would have done it. So I would have just drawn a line here to match, to reflect this line here. And then to reflect this one, I need to do the shorter one going away, and it's got to come just inside the circle, like so. Then this one I can see comes to about halfway down and sort of intersects this bit of the circle here. So that would need to come about here, up there. And then, so I'm using the circle and the lines just to basically help me do this. And then I just need to just match these lines up to here. So if that's what you got, well done. Okay, let's take a look at question 9. Pause the video to have a little go. Okay, so it's the first part says Ali has 35 red counters. He divides them into groups of 3. What's the greatest number of groups of 3 he can make? So basically how I would do this is because dividing and multiplying are basically the inverse of each other, aren't they? So you could use your times tables facts to work this one out. So think about the highest times table that you can get to make to get to 35. So you could do 3 times 10 is 30. We could go one more. 3 times 11 is 33. 3 times 12 is 36. So we've got 35 there, so it must be 11. You could also do a bit of division as well. You could do a bit of this. So 35 into 3, if that helps you. You could draw it out. You could draw out 35 counters, but you have to be super careful that you've actually got 35 done there, because I've done this before and I've miscounted and I haven't quite got enough there. And that could save you, that could actually cost you time and marks, especially in this paper. So if you've got 11, well done. We've also got the second part of the question. It says Maria has 35 green counters. She groups them into groups of 4. How many green counters does she have left over? So again, you could think about your times tables, so your 4 times tables. Think about the highest number you can get to in the 4 times table that doesn't quite go over 35. So 6 times 4 is 24. Your 7 times 4 is 28. We can keep going. 8 times 4 is 32. 9 times 4 is 36. So it must be 8. The 8 times 4 is 32. Then all we need to do then is just take away 32 from 35 to give us 3 counters left over. Basically, that's just a division with remainders question. So you could do a bit of this as well, 4 into 35, but you'd end up with something like this, which wouldn't really help you very much. So I would just literally just think about your times tables for that one. Well done if they're the answers that you got at home. Okay, let's take a look at question 10. Pause the video to have a go. Okay, so how did you get on? So it says Olivia is making a cube from a net. She wants the cube to have 2 circles on opposite faces. Draw 1 circle to complete Olivia's net. So obviously it says she wants 2 circles. We're only drawing 1, so that gives us the total of 2 circles that we need. Obviously, in the real thing, you won't be able to sort of draw this out, cut it out, and put it all together to have a go. So it's a case of just practicing building nets and having a go with these at home with lots of practice of these sort of questions. But you could, before you've answered this one, you could just draw this out anyway at home and just build it, because it is, again, revision, isn't it? I mean, it's not the real thing. But if you got your circle in this box here, well done. So well done if that's what you got at home. Okay, time for question 11. Pause the video to have a go. Okay, so it says the total distance from Paris to Munich by road is 860 kilometers. There are 3 sections. The distances for the first 2 sections are shown. So we've got Paris to Metz is 331 kilometers. Metz to Stuttgart is 295 kilometers, and Stuttgart to Munich, well, we don't know. Obviously, it's not to scale because 860 kilometers is a lot longer than this. So basically, what it's asking is how many kilometers is the last section from Stuttgart to Munich? So it's this bit here that we're looking for. So we know the whole thing is 860 kilometers. So and it's asking us to show our method, which is why I've given us like a little snippet of our maths book, as it were, to show that, because it's worth 2 marks. And so even if you show a correct method, like in this case, I would use column addition, then column subtraction to work this out. If I get the answer wrong, I can still get 1 mark for just showing a method. Okay, so make sure that you show a method which will potentially get you at least 1 mark. So I would highly recommend doing that. So let's add up the bit from Paris to Metz and Metz to Stuttgart together. So that would be 331. So make sure, I like to use 1 digit per square because it just helps me keep my working out clear and easy for me to follow. So 1 add 5 is 6, 3 add 9 in the tens is 12, and then we've got 3 add 2 in the hundreds is 5, plus the 1 is 6. So I've got 626. So I'm going to take that away from 860. Like so. So I've got 0 take away 6. Well, we can't do that, so let's just do some exchanging from the tens. So we've got 10 take away 6 now in the ones, which is 4. Then we've got 4 take away 2. Oh, not 4, that's meant to be a 5, isn't it? Goodness me. 5 take away 2 in the tens is 3. And then 8 take away 6 is 2, giving us our total answer of 234 kilometres. So well done if that's what you got at home. Okay, let's take a look at question 12. Pause the video to have a go. Okay, so it says Amina says 600 millimeters is longer than 1 meter. Amina is not correct. Explain how you know. So it's worth 1 mark. So we need to make sure that we're using words that compare the difference, making sure that we're using our knowledge of like the fact that millimeters are smaller than a meter and centimeters are smaller than a meter, but bigger than a millimeter, things like that. That will help you with your explanation. So, um, things that I would say for this answer would be Amina is not correct because 1 meter is 1000 millimeters. So, can you see that I've converted meters and millimeters there? I could say she's not correct because 600 millimeters is 60 centimeters and 1 meter is 100 centimeters. Or I could write something like 1000 millimeters equals 1 meter and 600 millimeters equals 0.6 meters. So I've just shown some converting there. Or you could compare the difference between them, between 600 millimeters and 1 meter, using correct conversion. So if you correct 1 meter into millimeters, it is 1,000 bigger than a 600. 600 millimeters is 400 millimeters less than 1 meter. So all sorts of different versions of that answer that you can have. So as long as you're sort of converting millimeters and meters there, that's what they're basically looking for. So well done if you got any of those answers there. Okay, time for question 13. Pause the video to have a go. Okay, let's see how you got on. So it says Jack buys 4 concert tickets. Each ticket costs £28. Tick each calculation that Jack could use to work out the total cost. One has been done for you. Now, I know it says tick each calculation. That does not mean tick all of them. Okay, so these are the ones that you could have ticked off. Oh, there's one there. So let's have a look at this. So let me just grab my pen. And so this one's been done for us. So this one would work because they're basically partitioned 20 and 28 into 20 and 8 times it all by 4. Yep, I'd use that one. 4 times 20 plus 8. Nope, I would not use that one because that would times the 20 by 8 by 4, but not the 8 in 28. You've got 4 times 30. Yeah, if you round up to the nearest 10, then take away 4 minus 2, 4 times 2. Yeah, because that should get that. So I would definitely do tick in that one. And 4 times 30 minus 2, well, that wouldn't work because 4 times 30 is 120. Take away 2 is 118. And these both would all generate different answers. So if you just got these 2 answers, well done if that's what you got at home. Okay, time for question 14. Pause the video to have a go. Okay, so there's quite a lot to do with this question, and it's only worth 2 marks, but this is the point of the exam where things will take a lot more time to do. So I would maybe start thinking about when you're thinking about your SATS paper and your time management. I'd maybe do the bigger questions towards the end first, because I know the ones towards the beginning take a lot less time. So if that's the way you want to do it, or otherwise you've had the previous 13 questions have been a good little warm up, but you've got to be constantly keeping an eye on the time because this is quite a big question. So it says here this table shows the distances Kirsty cycled last week. So it tells you basically all the distances she did when she did it. Okay, so it says to show your method, and because it's 2 marks, but there's quite a lot of things to do. So what I would do is, first of all, I'd look at multiplying these. If you add them, it would take forever. So for these, I would just do, because there's 5 of these that she did. There's 4.3. So no, 8 of those actually. Sorry, there's 3 there, isn't there? So 8 times 4.3. I would work that out first. So I would obviously be doing some column multiplication for this. That would get me 34.4. Then I would need to do 2.6 times 2. So 2 times 2.6, which is 5.2. So again, doing some column multiplication if you're not sure. And then I've got 2 lots of 3.1. So 2 times 3.1. You could just, but these are quite nice, easy numbers to double. So that would just be 6.2 miles there. And then just add all of these together using some column addition. So it's like 4 things to have to work out, four equations that you're going to need to do. Add all these together, and that will give you 45.8. Like so. There's quite a lot of things to do, isn't it? So, yeah, so well done if you got 45.8 at home. Okay, time for question 15. Pause the video to have a go. Okay, so let's have a look at it. So here is a diagram made from regular hexagons. What percentage of the diagram is shaded? Now, if you look at it, that diagonal line going across the screen looks almost like it's like 50%, but I'm not 100% sure it is because it does look like there's slightly more white than grey, doesn't there? So don't fall into the trap of thinking, oh, it's halfway through, like that's 50%. You need to double check this. So we know the whole thing will be worth 100%, don't we? So let's count how many hexagons we actually have. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so 100 divided by 10 would be 10. So each one of these is worth 10%. Okay, so straight away we can use that fact to help us. So I'm just going to do that on these whole hexagons, the 10% ones, because we've now got half hexagons filled in. So half of 10 is 5. So these are all worth 5%, like so. Okay, so now all we need to do now is just add these together. So 10 add 10 add 10 is 30. 5 add 5 add 5 is 15. 30 add 15 is 45. So it's almost 50%, but it is like, I think the grey is slightly more than the white. So it's definitely 45%. So well done if that's what you got at home. Right, let's take a look at question 16. Pause the video to have a go. Okay, so it says here are 2 boxes. One is worth weighs 1 kilo and a quarter. The other one weighs 1.4 kilos. So what is the difference in mass of the 2 boxes? So again, mass is weight. So then it says to give your answer in kilograms. So it could well be that we might need to convert grams into kilos as well. So there could be a decimal number here involved. So let's find out what we need to do. So what I would do is I would basically just convert these to both the same thing. So we've got 1.25 kilos, that is 1.25 kilos. This would just be 1.4, so I'd make that 1.40 to give it 2 decimal places. So let's give that 1.40, so that's the biggest one. So let's put that on top. And then 1.25, let's put on the bottom so we can subtract them. So finding the difference. So 0 take away 5 we can't do, so let's just exchange. 10 take away 5 is 5. 3 take away 2 is 1. Put a decimal point in there. 1 take away 1 in the ones is 0. So our answer should be 0.15. So I put that, I've just kept it all in kilograms. I didn't do any converting into grams or anything like that. Kept it nice and simple for myself. So well done if you got 0.15 yourself at home. Okay, let's take a look at question 17. Pause the video to have a go. Okay, so this is a 1 mark question, and it's asking a 4 kilogram bag of rice costs £6. What is the cost of 500 grams of the rice? So what I would do is I would work out how much 1 kilo is. So you could divide 6 by 4, which would give you 1.5. And then you need to halve 1.5 because half of a kilo is 500 grams. So that would be 75p or 0.75 in pounds or £0.75. So I'll just do 75p for that. If you know of another way that could do that, because I'm sure there's plenty of other ways that you could work this one out, please do let me know in the comments, because I would love to share that as well. Okay, time for question 18. Pause the video to have a go. Okay, so it says tick the fractions that are greater than 2/3. So I can see that the denominator is 3, and 3 goes into each of the denominators that are shown on our answers there. So how I would do this is, I know this might take some time, but it is a 2-mark question, so you can use a little bit more time on this one. So let's convert 2/3 into sixths. So 2/3 equals 4/6. So yes, that is greater than 2/3. Let's have a look at 4/9. So 2/3. So for making that into ninths, so we multiply 3 by 3 to get to 9. So 2 times 3 is 6. Nope, so that's less than 2/3. So we can't tick that one. Let's have a look at 9/12. So let's convert 2/3 into twelfths. So let's multiply this by 4 to get to 12. So we're going to multiply this by 4 as well. So that is 2 times 4 is 8. So that's 8/12. Yes, that works. We can tick that one. Let's now convert 2/3 into 15ths. So 2/3 into something 15ths. Is that going to be greater than 2/3? So let's have a look. So 3 times 5 is 15. 2 times 5 is 10. Yeah. 11/15 is greater than 10/15. And then let's lastly look at this one. 10/21. 10/21. Let's convert 2/3 into something over 21. So 3 times 7 is 21. So 2 times 7 is 14. Note, so that's actually less than 2/3. So those are the 3 that you want. So well done if that's what you got at home. Okay, time for question 19. Pause the video to have a go. Okay, so it says the total cost of a school trip for 12 pupils is £780. The total cost includes travel, food, and hotel. For one pupil, the travel cost is £27 and the food cost is £16. So, what I would do first is I would do 780 divided by 12. It says to show a method because it's a 2-mark question. So, you could do a bit of bus stop method here. So 12 into 780. So I've pre-worked this out already just to save some time. So 780 divided by 12 is 65. But make sure that you show you're working out with that one. And then, so that's the total cost. So for one pupil is £65. So we know that the travel is £27 and the food cost is £16. We just want to know how much the hotel costs. So all we need to do now is do 27 add 16. So 7 add 6 is 13 in the ones. 2 add 1 in the tens is 3 tens, and 1 more 10 is 43. So now we just need to, so now we've got those two parts, we just need to do 65 take away 43. So 5 take away 3 in the ones is 2. 6 take away 4 in the tens is 2 tens to give us a grand total of £22 for the hotel. Which hotels cost that much in real life? Anyway, well done if that's what you got at home. Okay, time for question 20. Pause the video to have a go. Okay, so it's basically asking, Sophie thinks of 2 prime numbers. She adds them together. Her answer is 24. Write all the different pairs of prime numbers that Sophie could think of. Okay, so what I've done is I did a little bit of work. I just wrote down all the numbers between 2 and 24, and then I could just have a quick look and see which ones are actually prime. So just to help me visualize things a bit easier. So I've got 2, 3, 5, 7, 8, 9, and 10 aren't prime numbers, because don't forget, prime numbers are numbers that are only divisible by themselves and 1. 11's a prime number, 12 isn't, 13 is, 14 isn't, 15 isn't, 16 isn't, 17 is though. 18 isn't, 19 is. Then I've got 20 isn't a prime number, nor is 21, nor is 22. 23 is, and then 24 is not. So I've just got these numbers I've got a purple dot underneath. So now I've just got to basically sit and work out which pairs of numbers add up to 24. So let's have a look. So we've got 5 and 19. They make 24. Okay, we've got it was 7. Oh yeah, 7 and 17, that makes 24, doesn't it? So 7 and 17. Okay, and then I can see one there straight away. 11 and 13, they make 24. There we go. So it's just basically then think about the prime numbers between 2 and 24 and seeing which ones add up to 24 with that one. So well done if you've got any combination of these ones at home. It doesn't matter if they're not in this order, but as long as you got this sort of thing, then well done. Okay, time for question 21. We're getting quite close to the end of the paper now. So the questions are going to get mean they're going to take a little bit longer to do. So making sure you're thinking about your time management. Could you be doing these ones first at the beginning just to give yourself a maximum amount of time, and also the maximum amount of marks, because these questions towards the end carry quite a lot more marks than the beginning. So this one is worth 2 marks, and it says show your method. So let's read what it says. The mass of a 1p coin is 3.56 grams. Okay. The mass of a 10p coin is 6.5 grams. Okay. So it says, what is the difference? So what is taken away here in mass between £1 in 1p coins and £1 in 10p coins? Okay. So I know there's 100 pennies, 1p's in £1. So that means we need to multiply 3.56 by 100 to start with. So 3.56 times 100 equals 356. And it says the difference, and then £1 in 10p coins. So I know that there are 10 10p's in £1. So that means we need to multiply 6.5 by 10. And that equals 65. Okay. Now it's asked us the difference. So like I said before, we're going to do some taking away. So 356 take away 65. Make sure that you line these up, guys. Don't put 65 over here and get it all wrong. So 6 take away 5 is 1 in the ones. 5 take away 6 in the tens we can't quite do, so we need to do some exchanging from the hundreds. So 15 tens take away 6 tens is 9 tens. And then 2 take away 0. You can always put this as a placeholder if you need it. So 2 take away 0 is 2 in the hundreds. So it would give us 291 grams. So well done if that's what you got at home. Okay, so let's take a look at question 22. So it says, calculate the volume of this cuboid. Pause the video to have a go. Okay, so we've got to calculate the volume, which means we've got to multiply 2 by 12 by 1.5. So I would literally just multiply these all together. It's 1 mark, this question. So if you know straight away what 2 times 12 times 1.5 is, then great. You could also do 2 times 12 times 1.5. So you could do 2 times 12 first, which is 24, then times 24 by 1.5, using some column multiplication, and that should give you an answer of 36 centimetres cubed. So well done if that's what you got at home. Okay, so into the last question of this paper. So well done for getting this far. And if you've watched all the videos up until now, thank you so much for spending your time with me and helping to be the best you can be with your SATs this year. So let's have a look at the last question. Pause the video to have a go. Okay, so it says the distance from A to B is 3/4 of the distance from A to C. Okay. What's the distance from B to C? So we know they've got 24 kilometres is between A and B. And that's worth 3/4. So the whole thing, if we divide that into quarters, sorry, that with the whole. No, that's not equal. They are meant to be equal, but yes, if that was divided equal into four, we need to work out how much each of these is worth. So I would divide 24 by 3 because that's how many parts that make 24. So 24 divided by 3 is 8. So yeah, so that must so each one so one part must be worth 8. So that must be 8 kilometers. So well done if that's what you got at home. If you have another way to show me how to work that up, please let me know because I would love to know. And thank you so much for um, using my videos to help you with your SATS prep. So, and I hope to hear from you all very soon. And good luck with them. Bye.